Hey, everybody. We are live here with Jason Frazier, marketing manager over at Cardinal Financial Wholesale. A lot of you know Jason. He's been in the industry. He's done a ton for us over the last couple of years, from his podcast, his many podcasts, to all of the recommendations and content that he pushes out on a regular basis, including through some of his own Facebook groups. He's super active here in Brokers Are Better with us. So Jason, welcome.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm excited to do one of these lives. Been watching them as you guys been doing them every single day. So excited to be a part of it.
Yes, we were so excited to bring you on. We talked to Colin, who's obviously on the team over at Cardinal last week. So if anybody's watching, didn't catch that one, definitely go check it out. That was a great interview with him. And we were definitely eager to pull you in as quickly as we could. So apologies for some of the technical challenges earlier. We've got it figured out, I think. And with that, I want to just jump right in. We've been talking a ton over the last couple of weeks since all of these shelter-in-place policies came out, and just generally people being more careful and working from home, even if they don't technically have to. With that, there's so much more attention on social media right now because that's where everyone's living, right? There's only
Yeah.
so much work that a lot of these industries can do from home. So there's way more time and more eyeballs on computer screens right now. So with that, what are some recommendations you have for people on taking advantage of all of the new traffic that's coming into Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, all of these other mediums of communication that are out there?
Yeah. So really what it comes down to is that everyone has a tremendous opportunity to just grab attention, right? And it's something that I've talked about it in Atlantic City last year, and that was the $2 a day strategy. And with the price of Facebook ads right now, you could really do some damage with just $1 a day on Facebook.
Yeah.
But the thing is that you're going to see a lot of people pull back from doing any type of messaging, any type of marketing or advertising, or they're going to continue doing the wrong type of messaging or advertising that's kind of tone deaf to the situation that everyone's living through right now. You nailed it right on, right in the beginning there with this is the community, because no one can go to anywhere to come together, right? Like no one's going to conferences, no one is going to any type of events, no BNI groups, no board meet. Like everyone is home, or at least they're not with the people that they're normally with. So they're using Facebook. That's why Facebook has increased with the amount of traffic that people are on there. The increase of it was like 54%. Last stats I looked, just in the last 2 weeks, as far as traffic, as far as activity. And so that's your advantage right now, is because everyone's using Facebook, everyone's using social media right now. So if you weren't running any type of interest-based ads or awareness ads, which is the $2 a day strategy, you should be doing that, because this is the opportunity. Now, everything I'm going to say, today in our conversation is really for the people that want to come through this with a really good pool of prospects, because right now you need to cross that line through the whole be a digital mayor thing, even though I really believe that, but you need to get rid of the mayor piece and put leader in its place. And there is a huge vacuum in your communities for someone that can consolidate information, talk about what people care about, things about their kids, things about like, how do I keep my kids active? How do they learn? Because now there's a lot of people that are now homeschool parents or homeschool teachers actually now, because not every school has not every school has an online option for those kids to learn. So thankfully for me, working at home we already do that. CF Wholesale is a distributive workforce anyway. Wasn't a big thing for us to work from home because most of us did that anyway. And we homeschool our kids. So that wasn't really a big disruption for us, but for other people, it's a huge disruption. They have no idea where to start or what to do. That's where and the data is everywhere. So that's where, you could fit in and do that. And so just run Facebook ads, videos, stuff that relates to today. Forbearance, right? Everyone's searching for it. It's a big search term right now, not paying their mortgage. I posted a graphic about that for, that you guys could use. Like, that's the thing, is like really understand that information is crucial right now. It's important right now. You could be doing these vertical videos on your phone and then run an ad against that and just blanket your face and your voice talking about, not like, hey, how can I get business, not how should you refi or anything. Talk about planning, talk about strategizing, talk about things that people care about in the community. Like I just mentioned about, homeschooling and activities. These are the things that people want to know, right? And then if you have a good network of like a financial planner, CPA, anyone else, let's do some collaboration, right? Like everyone's going to be worried about finances. That's one of the things that I'm excited to be working with FinLocker and helping them, or at least helping brokers give you guys marketing material so that you could help use FinLocker as an attractor to your business, right? Like this is it, guys. Like this is, and gals, like this is it. These are the opportunities that you have right now. They don't, and look, yes, it's a crisis. It's terrible. I'm not trying to say, hey, this is great stuff, but I'm just saying through every recession, downturn, crisis, disaster, there is always opportunity for experts. There's opportunity for leaders. This is where empires are made. This is where people, that were unassuming before and found a niche, and then now everyone knows them. Like this is it for your local communities, and you could do that. So don't miss out on the opportunities. Don't put your head under the covers. Yes, it's tough. This business is stressful enough as it is, but now it's super stressful and frustrating. We're all in the same boat. But don't look at it as a negative, right? And it's easy to do that. Look at it as a positive for opportunity, because you can create a huge pool of business when we come through this, which we will, and the economics will be good. The rates will probably be really good for, to attract, like everything's going to be good, especially for, and I hate to say it, just some lenders aren't going to make it through this. And so for those that do, and the benefit of being a broker right now is that you have options. I've seen some retail people, I know some retail people that the next week probably aren't going to be doing too much business. And so that's look, being a broker right now, I know this is going to sound stupid, but being a broker in this business right now, it's a tremendous opportunity. You have quite the advantage over others in the industry.
I completely agree with that, and I would echo that sentiment 100%. I think we get wrapped up a lot in the new challenge of the day, because there is so much that's changing in the market so quickly that, yes, every time we wake up, there's something that's different with a lender somewhere, and there are guideline changes and overlays and new credit requirements and all of process changes that we're not used to here over in wholesale, because we have gotten into a really smooth cadence especially with a lot of the AIME partners over the last year or so, and really dialing in everything. And now a lot of that is changing pretty quickly. But I think the advantage, just adding on to what you just said, that brokers have, one, you don't have the same kind of oversight and regulation when it comes to your social media activity. There are so many retail lenders out there that keep everything on social locked down. You can only use lender approved content and messaging, and all of your social posts have to come directly from the company itself. Everyone out there that's a broker has the ability to position themselves as the expert and as the leader, and you can create your own content. You can put your own spin on the content that you're seeing. Obviously, you have to stay compliant. We don't want to encourage anybody to do anything that breaks the rules, but you really can use your own voice. And I think if you just want to go into a little bit, for those that maybe aren't as familiar with being active on social media and are now trying to play catch up and jump in feet first when there are so many eyeballs so you don't miss out on the opportunity, how would you recommend those people get started?
Yeah. So one is don't overthink it, right? One is don't script it. Because look, I'll tell you right now, like when I had to do you get the script at AIME for Activate, screwed me up, right? Usually I could just go and I'm good. Totally screwed me up. So don't worry about scripting. Don't worry about like camera and lighting and stuff. They just need to be able to see you. They just need to be able to hear you, right? But don't worry about any of that stuff. This is the time for real people, right? Like, yes, authenticity has been played to death, but this is the real time, right? Like, be vulnerable, be comfortable with being uncomfortable. But the way you just start with your phone. Start doing, and you know what? Just record yourself. Don't go live or anything. Just record yourself, video, talk about something, just to get comfortable with doing it, right? Just to get comfortable with doing it. And I will drop a link to a podcast episode, not mine, but I produced the Next Level Loan Officers podcast. And there's a mortgage broker. His name's Alan Christian. He's in Texas. And he committed. He wasn't comfortable doing any of this stuff, but he finally committed to, like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do video. I'm going to, spend the $35 for like the holder and all that other, stuff, super cheap. But he went and committed in doing it. And now fast forward a year later, He's like, people stop him in coffee shops. He's known. He's like the digital, the digital mayor of his town. He's getting a ton of business from it, and he's known. Like, that's the thing, is like, so, look, there's always that mental block to people that aren't comfortable with doing video, that weren't doing it. I had to go through that as well. Like, the last thing I wanted to do was being on video when I started doing all that stuff. That wasn't my forte. For people, some people know this, some people don't, but I am a extreme introvert. Like, talking in front of people isn't my thing. Like, I know I do it.
The same.
I know I do it all the time, and and that's kind of, being a public speaker is my thing, but it's not my deal. So if you guys see me at the AIME events, like, I'm very uncomfortable during those times, right? I'm not the guy to go into a group of people and just start rapping and talking. So look, I've been there, I've overcome it. But the thing is that in my mind, I decided I wanted to play the game. But not only did I want to play the game, but I wanted to win, right? So even though I'm an introvert, I still am very competitive, and I still wanted to win. And so you just got to find that in yourself, like, what's going to make you do it. Understand that you're going to be your worst critic. And one thing that I've tried to instill in everyone and the people that I've coached and helped through this, and I've done that. I've converted people that told me that they would never do any of that stuff, and now they're doing it every single day. But I'll tell you one thing that you need to understand, which is an actual fact, and that is that consumers, your audience, identify with imperfection, because they live imperfect lives just like we all do, right? And so once you really just believe that and do it, get started knowing you don't have to break the bank. No, you probably have everything you need right now. You have a phone. You probably have a stand of some kind, or you could hold it in your hand. You have AirPods. You have earbuds. Like, this is how, again, you have to get started. You just have to find it. And it's different for everybody else, right? Some people don't like the way they sound, don't like the way they look, but guess what? That's how you sound. That's how you look. Doesn't matter. You just have to find that way to get started. But what you want to lean into something that you're passionate about. Yeah. Lean into a topic that you're an expert, that you know about, and think about, like, if I came off the street or called you or emailed you and said, hey, I'm thinking that with everything going on, a refi is something that I need to be considering. What can you tell me about what my options would be, and what do you recommend? Think about, like, those questions, right? And as, like, Scott Shank says, like, look at your inbox, right? Look at your sent folder. Answer those questions, something that you could speak about. What you don't want to do is, if you're not comfortable with doing video and you're not comfortable with putting yourself out there, last thing you want to do is talk about something that you're not comfortable talking about.
Yeah.
Because then that's when everything unravels. You have to pick a topic and do some tests. Understand that at the end of the day, if you screw up, that's actually probably going to be better for you long term than if you did a perfect video, right? And that's another, think about it, right? Like, look, if I have all this crap behind me, if my picture frame started to fall down or whatever, like, you guys are going to remember that, right? And hopefully you remember the substance too, but like, that's going to happen, right? You're going to make mistakes. You're going to fumble over your stuff. Bloopers are funny for a reason. Just lean into that. Right now, we need just authentic people, right? We need authentic experts and leaders. And that's where your advantage is. But just figure out what it is that's holding you back. Everyone has time to do this. Everyone does. And you just need to find it within yourself to do it, and realize that there's a lot of people that have just, as soon as they get past the barrier, they just need it. They just need that one win, getting past that barrier. And then they'll find, like I said, I have people that are doing this every single day now, multiple times a day, that told me, swore up and down every objection you could think of, but they finally figured out, like, this is what I want to do. This is my opportunity. And they decided to break through it. So don't worry about the equipment. Don't worry about any of that stuff. Just worry about being you. And if you do deals now, you'll do more deals with video too, right?
Exactly.
Like, that's the thing, is like, look, if you're doing business now, you're going to keep doing business. It's not like your video is going to stop you from doing business. You're going to do more.
Yeah, and it's so true, right? Like, going live on Facebook or putting a video out there of you talking about something that you're really excited about or really interested in.
So that was my advice.
All right, we might have talked. One of us was freezing there for a minute, so we might have been talking over each other. Okay, well, now we're back.
Okay.
No, what I was just adding on to what you were just saying. Yeah, I think everybody, first of all, everyone should know right now, my computer is currently sitting on a side table that I took from the side of my couch, and then a stool that I use when I work out, and I've stacked them together so that I could put my computer in front of a window so that you could see me. There is nothing professional about what is going on right now, just even to do this Facebook Live. So you really can just start with whatever you have access to, stack books, put it on a chair, hold it up next to you while you're standing next to a window. You can do really simple stuff and take advantage of the opportunity and of everybody that's out there. And as far as imperfection is concerned, I think Ryan Ayler is somebody that we've really highlighted a lot, that does a fantastic job with video and social media content in general, right? And I literally yesterday or the day before saw him put out a video with his wife, Jessica, where the two of them were walking down the street, and they started the video off by calling out some of their perceived imperfections, right? Jessica wasn't wearing any makeup. Ryan felt like his skin wasn't looking great. And they highlighted it and we're like, all right, we're still here. Even though we don't look perfect, this isn't an overproduced video. We haven't done a ton of post-production work. We're still going to be here and talk to you about the stuff that matters, that's really important to us, so that you're getting the consistency of the content out there no matter what. And I think just leaning into owning that. And shoot, I didn't have time to dry my hair today, so everyone's seen the fact that I have curly hair, which is probably new for most people, but that's it. It is what it is. That's, that's what my hair looks like. So I think that human touch that you're highlighting is so important for people to keep in mind, especially when you're trying to get over that hump of getting started. It really does help kind of ease. And once you've done it for a week, doing it for a second week gets easier. And then doing it the third week gets even easier. And by the time the month is over, you've built this habit that just feels like it's second nature.
Yeah, no, 100%. And just realize every time that you delay a day, it's probably putting another 2 weeks for you to get started. Like, look, it keeps compounding.
It's like working out. You just got to jump in.
You just got to do it and then be committed to doing it. And look, I can't tell you to do it. I'm just saying it's the best opportunity. I highly recommend it. We have so many, especially in this group, you have so many examples around you of people that do video that do an amazing job, and they could actually source business to it. So many examples. Just try to find the strength within to get past whatever barrier you have to start doing video.
Definitely. So one more thing I really want to touch on before, we've had you for about 20 minutes so far, but I really want to talk about the advantages of Facebook groups. So we're seeing a lot of different community groups pop up on Facebook, which is probably pretty new for most people. Obviously, the Brokers Are Better group, we drive a ton of content and try to culminate conversation there in that specific group. But now we're seeing a lot of subgroups pop up. We're seeing localized groups start to pop up. What should people be doing to take advantage of that? How could somebody start their own and make sure that it actually matters and it's not lost in a lot of the noise that's being put out there?
Yeah, no. So look, community groups were important before. They're especially important now. And the cool thing is that when you do a group and you do it the right way, you have a captive audience. I've helped a few people do this over the last few months, and now they're reaping the rewards of doing that and having that captive group. And the way one is just you start a Facebook group. So I won't go into details on what that looks like, but right now everyone's looking for information, right, about whatever it is. And this is your opportunity to create a group, and maybe you call it COVID-19 information. I live in a community called Daybreak, and I could call it Daybreak COVID-19 information. And that would be because we have a huge, Facebook groups are huge in Utah, like yard sale groups and stuff. Like you could do that, consolidate all the information from the local TV stories, put their stories in there, put their videos in there. But this is where I've seen other people have some success, and this is what I'd recommend, is do an MVP group for your clients, right? Especially if a lot of your clientele is in your market, they're going through the same things, or you need the same information. I do this, get a Starbucks card on, those of you that want a coffee, here's free coffee on me. Please limit to one or two, because some people will go in there and spend $50 on it or whatever. And then you basically just take that on your phone and you go through the drive-through and they'll scan it, and then you could get coffee. Like, that's the thing, is like, be a part of your community, be a leader, consolidate the information. But here's where I think you could really make a difference. Local businesses are struggling, right? So you could partner up with them. Not only that, but find businesses that have a social media presence and say, hey, I'm starting this Facebook group. I would love to have you like put your menus in here, put like your special hours stuff. How are you keeping, food safe? How are you keeping, the interaction between customer and your employees safe? Put all that information, but they'll share your group out to their audience. So if you find some
Yeah.
good local businesses that have a good social media following, bring them along, and then they'll share your group. And before you know it, you're going to have 500, 1,000 people, 1,500, 2,000 people that are captive. And look, once we get through this, that group still stays active, and you just rename it to, whatever, to community or whatever. But the cool thing is that it's captive audience to you. You don't have to, you could maybe get a couple agents in there as well and try to build some referral relationships. Don't allow any loan officers in there. Just have it to you. And that's your captive group. I have friends that have been doing this for years. I have a friend, he's an agent in Montana. He's got like 5% of the population in his 2 Facebook groups, and that's where he gets a majority of his business from. It absolutely works. And the cool thing is that what you're going to do is all you're doing is bring a traffic cop, bringing the people together of the information that they're looking for, whether it be Costco hours, whether it be like, resources for people with that are high risk, elderly, things of the, like when can they go shopping? Be that person that brings these people together, because everyone is out there every single day looking for it. They're on Facebook. Create a community group, even create one with just your clients. Do an MVP, have some stuff in there, maybe some free coupons. Get with local businesses saying, hey, I went out and found 10 local businesses. I'm trying to help them out. If you go through, don't go through DoorDash, don't go through Grubhub. If you're going to go and pick up, here's a coupon for 10% off or something like that. Business owners will do that. I'm seeing it happen right now in my groups. I'm seeing it happen in other groups. For examples, again, this is your opportunity. The community groups are huge. And then, like I said, they will share this information out because those businesses want as many people seeing them possible. And then you've created a really cool ecosystem, right? To get people through this, and community, right? Because now people can talk, oh, I didn't even know that person, that people are going to start, learning about the owners of these small businesses. And then people are not going to forget, just like, the Lighthouse video that Renee did, Renee Rodriguez, about the courage scale. We're not going to forget this time for any time soon. No one's going to forget the 2020 probably forever, right? Like, this is where people are going to remember what you did, how you acted, what type of, what kind of content you put out there, and were you really adding value and putting other people before yourself? Because we see plenty of topics out there or content out there where people are like, hey, I'm doing this. It may look like it's a good idea, but it's really about you giving me business, or you paying me money, or taking advantage of the situation. You do this the right way. It's the right thing. It's the moral thing. It's the human thing. But what you're going to do is, through all this stuff, you're going to create a huge pool of prospects. So when things come through, it's like, remember that they helped you with planning. They helped you with strategy. You're using some of the tools that you have access, maybe something like Finlock or whatever, to help them plan financially. Budgeting is going to be super important. Monitoring their credit is going to be super important. Like, this is it, guys. Like, again, this is why I'm so passionate about talking about this, because this is your opportunity. This is it, right? Like, look, it sucks, but it's a great opportunity for you to establish yourself as a leader. And everything I've talked about, there's zero negative consequences for doing any of this stuff. Let's say you don't get a ton of business from it, or you don't create a prospect. You just did a really good thing. Right? So from a humanity perspective, you're an awesome human being, right? So there's no negative, there's no downside to doing this. But I'm gonna tell you right now, there's never been a time where I've seen someone really execute on this and do the right thing, be known in the community, be a community leader, to where that doesn't equate into some positive business uptick once we get through the nonsense. So that the community groups, superly important. And I'm happy. Like, I've been helping people do this for a long time. So as you guys know, I'm definitely here as an advocate for you to help you guys crush it. So if you ever have any questions, always happy to talk to it and take you through what I think it is, ideas, and if you guys have an idea where I think something might be somewhat bad, or something might be awesome, great idea that I didn't even think of. So this is it, guys. This is it. Focus on those community groups.
Definitely. And I just jumping in on that, we've seen, first of all, that sentiment is something that Colin and really everybody at Cardinal kind of lives by. And we've heard it from other partners of ours. Matt's a big preacher of this as well. If you do the right thing, the business is going to follow, right? And I think we're
Yep.
living in a time that just exemplifies that even more. If you're doing the right thing and you're out there in your community and you're being a leader, the business is naturally going to follow. It might not be today, it might not be next week, but in the next couple of months, when these opportunities do start to arise and things settle down, people are going to remember those that were active and visible and being leaders, to your point, in their communities. I've seen so many of our members jump online and be posting on Facebook about sending meals to the local fire department or police department, or the ER nurses that are working overnight,
Yes.
supporting two different options, right? So now, one, you're pulling from local businesses and buying large catering orders, and you're sending it to people that are working the front lines. That's an awesome way to help get your name out there, because all of those organizations are going to share it as well, right? And they're pushing you out there. My cousin, I have to tell this story because she did it without even knowing she was doing it, but exactly what it is that you're talking about. She started a community group in her small town in Iowa, and said her and her husband were going to create small little Easter eggs that people could paint and put in their yards, so that all the kids could drive right around in their parents' cars and go on an Easter egg hunt while also still being far enough away from each other, since a lot of those activities are starting to get canceled. And she's had hundreds of people join this group and want to participate without even thinking about the fact that her family owns a construction company and builds property, and they own real estate within the town. And now she's got all of these people that are engaged with her organically because she's doing something good for the community. And it's going to turn back around in a couple of months when people are looking for all of the things that their business happens to also offer. And that's just one example of little stuff that you can do in your community that doesn't take a ton of time. To your point, there's no negative outcome. There's nothing bad that can come out of trying to help your community. There's only good stuff that comes from that.
Yeah, no, and that example is 100% perfect, especially like, look, you could right now, every one of you could find a local pizza place or some food delivery that will probably even give you a discount, or if anything, go like, oh, I want to cover half of that, or put, if it's part of your group, or just say, hey, look, I am donating $150 to work with Joe's Pizza to deliver pizzas to this hospital, to the nurses and the doctors and everyone it is, or people that are, that are having to work right now, even grocery, deliveries and stuff like that, right? You could do that and say, who would donate, $5 to see how many we could get. I'm sure you'll have people take you up on that. And that would be something huge. It's good for the community. I've seen people do that, just doing it. They get featured on local news. They got, I have a friend that is doing this in Cape Cod, and she's helping a local business out. She's making, because he can't, because of his business license, he can't sell his food because people have to actually come into the store. So what she's doing is she's getting the ingredients and making these clam chowder kits that people could pick up and go from home. And this other business is being the pass through for money to this other business so that he could actually stay in business. But then she got featured on the local news. NPR picked it up. So that's the thing, is like, this is, look, I'm not trying to say like, hey, do all this stuff so that you could make money. I'm just saying, doing the right thing and making money, there's no downside to that. And let's be honest, let's find ways to grab hold of this opportunity, and so that you're set for when we come through this.
Awesome. Well, Jason, it's been amazing. We got a solid 30 minutes out of you. So thank you so much for joining us. Before we go, one of the things that you've been working really hard on in the middle of all of the other stuff that you do for the broker and mortgage community in general is this broker fuel initiative that you've started over at Cardinal. So do you want to just tell us a little bit about what that is and what that offers, so that we can start connecting more people to y'all so everybody can be taking advantage of it?
Yeah. So one thing, when I joined CF Wholesale in December, one thing is like, hey, come up with like our marketing strategy, right? Like, hey, in 2 weeks, I know it's December, but let's 2 weeks to come up with a marketing strategy for us. But really, one of the advantages, and you guys know that I've been always, even when I haven't been part of the broker community, I've always been a big proponent of everything that AIME has built and what Anthony has championed. And just love the people in the group, in the community. And so when I joined Cardinal, one of the things I wanted to do was find a way of what I thought was missing, right? Because look, we have a lot of fantastic lenders in the community. UWM gives a ton of value with their technology, with Brand 360, all that stuff. Home Point with the customer for life, right? Like
Yep.
there's a lot of great lenders in here that are doing some great things. One thing that I thought was missing though, and again, this isn't a dig on any of them, is that one thing that I thought was missing is that a lot of it was just the surface level stuff that we should be doing, right? And again, having nothing at all sucks, but they've done a great job of giving, offers, partnering with the right vendors, so giving brokers discounts and all that stuff is fantastic and great and very important. So I don't want anyone to twist what I'm saying here. What I thought was missing was the what's next, right?
Yep.
The next step onto that, right? And so one thing that I thought was missing is that, look, what I want to do with Broker Fuel is to take people to that next level and give fuel. And basically I found Broker Fuel just came to me just because I thought it was a cool term. And then also because our system is Octane. So I thought it meshed well. And really what I want to give you guys the fuel is like, if you're using Brand 360, I want to give you tactics to take whatever you're using from whoever to amplify that, to make it even better. And so Broker Fuel is about tools, tactics, and training. And so what I've done is I've taken the relationships I've had with some great people, CEOs and founders of companies. So FlowFi will be one of them. Lead Pops, Andrew Pollock, even though he's on my shit list right now, but like he's with his Tiger King stuff, King. But like, but Andrew's become a friend of mine, and so like Lead Pops is part of that. Wiki Realty is part of that. And so what I'm trying to do is bring these tools together, and Whiteboard CRM, another one that's part of that. And so I'm bringing these tools together, and then through what we're doing, if you sign up, if you're a partner of ours, you get a discount on these services, right? Now there's no affiliate relationship. There's nothing that I'm getting out of this. It's just, these are the tools where I know the owners, I know the people in the back end. I know that if brokers have an issue, that there's going to be a channel, and brokers can reach out to me. And I always try to fast track things when I have a connection somewhere to help them out. But Broker Fuel is about that. It's about also the tactics. So I mentioned that, this month we're going to be releasing a content calendar that basically gives you a lot of tactics and tools to just put out content, right? And something you could even use in conjunction with Brand 360 or some HubSpot or whatever you happen to be using, right? Like that's part of it, right? Now I've had to revamp that a little bit because of the current situation. I didn't want to give you guys tone deaf content that didn't make sense right now. So revamping that, but also it's going to be one thing that we'll have a repository for flyers so that you guys can create flyers for yourself on the fly, but I'm going to be creating all the content. And that's the difference, is that I am actually going, as a practitioner, as someone that's doing a lot of this content marketing, conversational marketing, neuro marketing on the back end, is I'm going to pour all of that into the content, the social media, and everything else that you guys can do, so that you then can take that and make it work for you, but then give you the tools, but then give you the tactics on how you amplify that and how you make that even better. So there's going to be webinars, and I'm not just going to focus on marketing. I'm going to bring people on there to help brokers understand their numbers, right? If you're running a brokerage, or if you just decided to start your own brokerage and you've never really truly run a business before, you got to understand your P&L. You got to understand your numbers. You got to understand business planning. So I'm going to bring experts on to help guide through that, and courses and training and classes. Marketing Interrupt is going to be a course that brokers will have access to, so that you guys will understand how to do things on Instagram and YouTube and Twitter and LinkedIn and Facebook. So I'm basically going to bring all of these things that I've been building just on my own, in my own personal brand and with Mortgage X, and I'm going to pour it all into one ecosystem, which we're calling Broker Fuel. Because at the end of the day, I want to make sure, because the thing that I love the most is, like, when I was working on the retail, I had 120 loan officers, but that was it. Like I, in my opinion, I have thousands of customers now. I have thousands of brokers that I could help. I have thousands of people that I can now help them win. Because one thing that I decided to do is, when I decided to join the wholesale side of it, is, like I said, I'm competitive. I want to win. I want to help brokers win. The more brokers that I could get to be the narrative to the consumer, that is their best option, that is their best choice, we all win, right? We all win, and there's going to be plenty of business for everybody. So it doesn't have to be a competitive, like a us against them or that, because we're not trying to be number one. We're just trying to be the best lender partner we can. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to screw up. It's going to happen. We got to adapt. We got to try to rectify it and move on. And that's the thing, is that's what I want to do with the marketing help and everything else, is that I want to give everyone a path to the best possible position to succeed, that I know because I've been there and I've worked with those companies, and I know they're not going to get that on the mortgage banking side because of a lot of red tape and a lot of issues. I know they're not
Right.
going to get that. I know I could help, and I know I could help people achieve some level of success by doing marketing in a different way that our industry really isn't used to.
That's
So that's
awesome.
broker fuel.
That's, yeah, very cool. Very exciting. You guys unveiled it at Activate. There was a great response to it immediately. We've heard even better things about it since then. A handful of those partners that you just rattled off, we also have relationships with here at AIME and Brokers Are Better. So we're big fans of Lead Pops as well, and FinLocker, and plenty of the others that you're referencing. So guys, if you're watching, don't forget, those are also partnerships and discounts that are available here with us. The tactics and the content, I think, is going to be awesome coming through Broker Fuel, especially from somebody like you that is an expert in all of that. This is what you've built your career doing. So there's not really a better person out there right now to be guiding people on how to take advantage of all of the opportunities that exist, especially in the current environment where there is such a heavy focus on virtual communication as opposed to the face-to-face events that a lot of people, I think, have gotten used to before. So everybody, if you guys want to get connected with Cardinal, all you have to do is shoot us an email, partnerships@aimegroup.com. We will get you sent over. We're able to help escalate those approval processes so that you guys can start using Broker Fuel and a lot of the other amazing things that Cardinal offers, like Octane, as quickly as possible. Jason, thank you again so much for joining us today, and we'll definitely have to bring you back on sometime soon.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for doing that. And again, thank you for everything. It's extremely impressive that even with the remote and everything that you guys are doing, that you're still able to keep everything going, the amount of content, the videos that Anthony's putting out every single day. Like it's what's needed, right? Again, this is I posted this a ton of times. This is the time for experts and a time for leaders, and AIME has that. Katie, you do an awesome job, Nicole, and everyone else. It's very impressive, and I hope everyone in the community really appreciates all the time and effort that you guys are putting in to put them again in the best position to succeed.
Well, thank you. We are back at it tomorrow. We've got a ton of great content coming over the next couple of days before the week wraps up. So definitely tune in. And Jason, we'll see you on Facebook.
All right. Take care.